So, why did I pick up the Lumix S5 and what does that mean for the Fujifilm equipment? So just to be clear, I really wanted a video-centric camera. And having only brought Fujifilm cameras, I decided to have a quick little look around to see what else was out there on the market that wasn't a Fujifilm. A quick little story time for you. I got to talking with a super knowledgeable mate about his experiences with cameras that he's used in the past and cameras he still uses, possible cameras that he might get in the future. And I could hear the passion in his voice for a specific brand. Now, this could have been just a passion for photography and videography in general. It just so happened that he uses this brand, but I could hear the passion nonetheless. And when I hear a little bit of passion, I get completely drawn in. It gets me excited because people who are usually passionate about things are quite knowledgeable and they usually have their finger on the pulse. So I tend to listen more to these types of people because they are invested in something and they have a stake in it. So the brand he was talking about and the cameras that he had been using were Panasonic. So I went down a little rabbit hole and started investigating further. Now, to be honest with you, initially I was really excited about the Fujifilm X-H2S and I really wanted to go down that route. As I have all Fujifilm lenses, I have Fujifilm adapters, my entire ecosystem up until now has been Fujifilm. However, obviously the algorithm picks up what you're looking for. And I was looking for the Fujifilm X-H2S. So all on my YouTube feed and search related terms was the Fujifilm X-H2S. And unfortunately, this was probably about the time that a string of videos were being put up about the Fujifilm firmware not being updated and the Fujifilm X-H2S autofocus not being as good, and everyone crying and moaning and whinging at Fujifilm, and in all honesty, I was influenced. So I decided to look elsewhere, and that's what led me to Panasonic. Of course, I'm not destined to be a Fujifilm shooter forever. However, I really do love what they offer with their cameras, and the age-old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, really applies to the cameras that I have. Anyway, I found the original Lumix S5 and done a quick little deep dive into it, done some research on it, and then I went onto the Bay and I found an amazing offer. This offer I really couldn't refuse. It was nearly the third of the price of the X-H2S. I was amazed and I was hyped about this price and I decided to jump in. Like I said, I really wanted a heavily video-centric camera. And of course, if possible, I wanted to try out full frame. So this camera started ticking some boxes for me. And for the last few months, I've been playing around with the Lumix S5 and I'm really happy with what I've gotten out of it so far. This is my first Panasonic and now I am part of the Panasonic gang as well. So happy to be aboard. So I just wanted to dive into some details about the camera and share my thoughts and feelings about it so far. Now I'm filming on an old vintage piece of glass. I'm filming on the Canon FD SSC 24mm f2.8. I hope that is in focus. But I wanted to start with how the camera makes me feel. I think how a camera makes you feel when you pick it up is really important. Well, at least it's important to me. I know I suffer with imposter syndrome. So having a camera, a tool that makes me feel confident is really important. That might sound ridiculous, but it's what feels right to me and it works. Maybe one day I won't have imposter syndrome and how the camera makes me feel will be irrelevant, but for now, that's what I'm going with. So what stands out to me is how substantial this camera feels. And to me already, it feels like a little cinema rig. Obviously, I haven't tried out the top of the range cinema rigs out there, cinema cameras. And will I ever? Maybe not. But for me, having the confidence with this tool to go out and do some video and feel confident with it leads me to believe that I can create some cinematic footage with it, which which is really exciting for me. 'Cause yeah, it's really important to have a camera that A, you want to pick up and you feel excited about picking up. B, you feel confident with it and you feel confident knowing that when you press record or you press the shutter button that it's going to capture something that you want. And C, having the belief with the tool that you can get the footage that you want. Because when you believe you can, you'll go after it more. Now I only have one lens for the Lumix S5, and that is the 20-60 kit lens. I haven't owned a zoom, so it felt a little bit weird at first to having the option to zoom and not having to move too much with my feet to get a shot that I wanted. But I can say that this little kit lens is absolutely fantastic as my first zoom lens. So maybe you're thinking, but it's just a kit lens. And yeah, it is just a kit lens, and maybe it doesn't stand up to the optical abilities of maybe the Lumix Pro line lenses. And obviously I haven't tried them out, but I've read that they are better build quality. This is essentially all plastic. But again, it's all subjective on how well you use the lens, I think. But this little f3.5 lens is getting the job done when I need it at the moment. I actually didn't mind about what lens I got with the camera body. So the fact that I actually got a lens included in the offer was a big bonus, because I really love vintage glass. And I've been slowly collecting them since I started photography. Now, at the moment, I'm filming on the Canon FD 24mm f2.8, and that is the SSC version. I have a bit of infatuation with the SSC line. I have the 24 and the 50 so far, and I really love them, and they pair really well with the camera. I hope this is in focus right now, but yeah, I really love the look that it brings to the camera. I probably will look at getting one more prime lens for the Lumix S5. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'd really love to hear them. I do love a little read of a gear review, but I'd love to hear what the people have to say and what your first-hand experiences of them are. I'm actually thinking I am leaning more towards the 85mm right now to complement the 20-60, just to give me that extra little bit of reach, and so it could possibly be a dedicated portrait lens as well. Is this a good idea? What do you think? So why didn't I stick with Fujifilm? Why was I influenced so heavily, and why didn't I just stick with them? Like I said, I haven't left Fujifilm. I use Fujifilm still. They're my main photography cameras. I still much prefer the smaller body, the output of the photos. And I covered that in a little video, so I'll put that up there for you if you want to find out what I'm using for my photography. And like I previously said, I was influenced by reviews, by people, and who knows if it was for the good or the bad. All I know now is I have the Lumix S5, and that's what I'll be using. I also thought, what a great opportunity to try a different system. No shade on any of the other brands. What really started to draw me in was the Panasonic lineup. And in all honesty, I think I've made the correct decision. I really started digging into the system. I've only had it for a few months, but what I've got out of it so far has been amazing and just what I wanted. So some of the boxes that it ticks for me: full frame. I wanted to try the elusive full frame, as I've only shot with APS-C size sensors in the Fujifilm, and I can say I really see the difference. At least now I can say I've got a full frame camera. I've used one. I've tested I've experienced the full frameness of a camera. I might just get a red badge next just to see what all the hype is about. So video wise, the ability to shoot 10-bit. Now I've tried to digest as much as possible as much as I can about video capabilities and all the differences, and it's an absolute minefield. But I can honestly say I do see a difference between an 8-bit on an APS-C to the 10-bit that I'm getting out of the Lumix S5 full frame. The footage does look cleaner, and the range of color and the depth of the video is a lot better, and I feel like I can work with it more in DaVinci Resolve. Another box is the battery life. Now, one forsaken gripe that I have with the Fujifilm X10, like I love that camera, but the battery life is just shite. It's so terrible. Like the X Pro 1 battery is way better. And now these Lumix batteries that I'm using, they just seem to last forever. Like they're absolute tanks. I love them. So yeah, there are a few details about the Lumix S5, and it fills me with confidence when I'm doing video, which is what I wanted. I think I'm yet to see the top capabilities of what this camera can produce. Obviously that's skill level and editing level. So I hopefully get better and better and better. I haven't used it too much for photography, but what I've seen so far, I like. I will be releasing more videos of my adventures with the Lumix S5 as it's now a solid member of the team. And yeah, if you're interested in picking one up, I can highly recommend it from what I've experienced with it so far. That's been the video. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you soon.